Another Monday night up in the treehouse. What's up, Flobo After Hours? What is going on? We're heading towards a year of this show. Are you kidding me? And as I say hello to my girlfriend, the next award-winning What's Up, Flobo After Hours, we'll say thank you so much for checking us out on that YouTube, on that Twitter, and on that Twitch. And well, I can't do this show without giving props out to members of the Boyce crew. That's our Patreon fam. You know, patreon.com/FloboBoys. You can unlock bonus interviews and special exclusive shows like Flopito's Book Club. It's worth a skip. So now I have to give myself a special round of applause and thank you to Christopher C, Christy H, ACH, Edric P, Oliver E, Princess Leia, Matthew C, Lindsay U, Richard R. You make this show a reality. Now, as always, I am not alone. I'm being joined by the MVP who apparently doesn't sleep like Batman, host of the Diamond NBA podcast, and so much more. Please welcome Josh Rodriguez. What's going on, man?
Flobo, what's good, man? First of all, that intro that you have is ridiculous. So shout out to whoever the freak did the after effects to that. I don't know who did it, but shout out to you. And second of all, congratulations on your award. Well deserved. You are the man. Shout out to
man, dude, I got to give it to you, baby. Man. I love what you do in your stuff. I was in the New Pod on the Block this week. That stuff, New Pod on the Block.
Shout out to Cookie Olafante, who is on Ross Matthews, Straight Talk with Ross Matthews. That's where I got it from. So Cookie did that. She killed it.
Oh man, we gotta talk about that first. I had this whole dime stuff coming up first, but we gotta talk about
talk New Pod.
New Pod on the Block. Because you were pitching to me before at AfterBuzz. You're like, yo, man, look, I love my boy band music. Me and my homeboy are gonna have a boy band podcast. And I was like, all right, man, it's a weird flex, but okay. But you're in your second season now. What?
We're going on our third. We're starting our third soon. We recorded the first episode already. We have way more. It's probably gonna be another 10 episode season. But yeah, we're going on our third. I mean, how many seasons can you have a boy band culture? I have no idea, but we're gonna push that limit. We're gonna see. Well, I have no idea.
Now, by boy bands, you mean all boy bands from all time periods, or the specific late 90s, late 2000s?
We call it the BB era, which is basically after 1987. So we're talking like new edition, new kids on the block on. Just for the simple fact, like I can't have a like legitimate nuanced discussion about the Monkees. I can't talk about them. Like obviously the Jackson 5's in there. Yeah, I don't know any of their damn songs. I don't know anything. Like, I know they existed, but that's it. Outside of the Jackson 5, I don't know much about any boy band before 1987, so we're not even going to go there. This is all subjective. This is our childhood nostalgia thrown in your face for 3 seasons, so that's what it is.
Are you doing K-pop too? How's that work?
No, but we're trying to get into it because we have a lot of our listeners and a lot of our fans in our DMs like, you should be doing BTS and you should be doing K-pop because you're missing out. And apparently it's huge, and I think BTS is dope, so it's a whole nother avenue that I'd like to explore.
I'm actually a Monster X guy myself, but that's just me. So on this podcast, 2 grown-ass men talk about boy bands, and I gotta ask I like it too. And I the thing is, look, I don't try to front. I know who I am. But what was the moment for you before it became a guilty pleasure being a New Yorker to being like, nah, I like this. This is my thing. Beat it.
Boy band? Oh man, I've always liked boy bands. It was interesting. Like I was like in 4th grade singing "I Want You Back" by NSYNC, and I think when all the girls like love it, like you kind of feel like you're doing the right thing because it's like, oh, the girls love it. But then you realize that gets you friend zoned very quickly because girls don't like other guys who like boy bands. That is not a feature that they like. True. But yeah, I was never ashamed of it for whatever reason. I had no shame, and I still have no shame. Obviously, I'm doing a damn podcast about it. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about season 2. You actually had a bracket of the top, top boy band songs of all time. Look, man, that's going to be a fight. It has to be a fight, right? Like, well, how does that even come about?
So we just had this idea. My friend Mike Zacchio, who's the co-host on the show, he thought of the idea and he organized it all. I mean, shout out to Mike. I did absolutely no work whatsoever with the bracket. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend that like I did anything. Mike seeded all 64 songs. He found 64 songs. I had a little bit of input and we would work the bracket a little bit, but Mike like seeded them and we made sure that we had a certain amount of NSYNC songs on there, a certain amount of Backstreet Boys songs on there. And we had our listeners fill out brackets and we legitimately had a tournament. We had a winner. We gave them merchandise and everything. And it was freaking fantastic. Bye by NSYNC won.
Okay.
So here's what happened, right? So we had him vote on our Instagram page at New Pod on the Block on Instagram stories.
Plug it.
And, yep. And what happened was NSYNC fan accounts got a hold of it. So they were like promoting it while Backstreet Boys fan accounts weren't doing it. So we had all these NSYNC fans.
Wow.
Come in and just vote for NSYNC. So we had Bye versus It's Gonna Be Me in the finals.
Oh, you know what's funny? Like there's not many individual songs from NSYNC I like. I like them as a band, I like them as a music. I could put their albums on, no problem. But like It's Gonna Be Me was like transcendent to me. Like that was their only number one song, wasn't it? That was like a top number one song.
It was. It's Gonna Be Me. It's interesting because when the album first came out,
hell yeah, you were there.
Wait a week, me and Flo will be on TikTok doing that dance together. But yeah, when Most Strings Attached first came out, that was my favorite song on the album. But as time grew on, Bye just got so old so quick because it was the first single. But Bye is a fantastic song.
I would say when I DJ weddings now, it's usually Bye or Everybody, Backstreet's Back.
Everybody, yeah. You can't beat that, especially at a wedding. Oh my God, no.
Do you have a preference, or you're kind of like I love the art form?
Of what specifically? Like
of specific boy band? Like you're like a Backstreet Boy guy, New Kids on the Block guy.
NSYNC was my favorite, but I like the more up tempo, faster, I can dance to it type things. Where Backstreet Boys more like for the heart, acoustic guitar, which I do like. I like the Backstreet Boys a lot. Don't get me wrong; they're fantastic. But NSYNC was my favorite. Now I have a question for you, Flobo.
Oh, shit, question for me. Oh no.
Boyz II Men, boy band or not a boy band?
Oh,
right. It's tough. Like, how do you?
Boise, the title, isn't it? No, I'm gonna say no, only because. Oh man, I was gonna say no. I was like, oh, okay. My original thing was I'm gonna say no because on an album they let each guy do runs more often than a normal boy band, but at the same time, it's like, by any definition, besides the fact they're black, you gotta call them a boy band. Like, let's be real.
So here's the thing. Season 3 is dedicated to defining what a boy band is. We're building a boy band constitution. And Boyz II Men is like the boy band that we're basically like kind of framing the argument around, like, are they a boy band or not? Because there are so many different opinions. It's like, well, are they an R&B group? Does race matter? Like, let's be honest, does race matter? Does, the way does their songs style matter? The fact that it's R&B and not pop. So like, we're going to answer all those questions. We're going to have different guests. We're going to build a boy band constitution, have amendments throughout the season to the point where at the end of the season, we hope to have a boy band constitution that everybody agrees on.
Well, race has to matter, brother, because the whole point of being a boy band is being not threatening. Our people are always oppressed. They're a man band. Dude, I can't wait for this new Pod on the Block. When's it coming out? When's it coming out?
So we recorded the first episode already. We wanted to release it in May, but Mike's schedule got really busy. And to be fair to Mike, my schedule's already busy. So we haven't released anything yet. Hopefully we do it very, very soon. I don't know when we're going to be able to do it, though, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll have it by the end of June. I still haven't edited the first episode. We did it, but I haven't edited it yet. It's a long episode.
I got a question for that in a second, but Jack Farmer says, when I go back further on my Mountain groups, because my man John has a hard line. He's 87 after. He has his, I don't know why 87 was a year, but he said 87's a year. I'm not going back before that.
Shout out to Jack. I never met Jack in person, but Jack, I see you doing your thing on social media all the time. And I just wanted to give you a shout out because you're dope. But also Motown to me is like my favorite thing. And it's interesting. It's the same thing with Boyz II Men where it's like, is it R&B? Do you have to be pop to be a boy band? Like, does it matter? Can you be rock and be a boy band? I mean, we can answer that, Jack. We can answer that question this season. You just got to listen. You just gotta listen.
Yeah, gotta bring Jack on the Jonas Brothers episode.
Yep.
That'd be kind of fun. Let's talk about the podcast thing, man, because that's your side hustle, that's your day job. You do all that stuff in the podcast world, and well, one, do you love it, or that's something you just fell into? And two, does that you get burned out at all? Just thinking about audio entertainment all day long?
Yeah, I do. I gotta stop denying that I don't.
Oh no, I love it. I love it.
I absolutely need a mental health break at some point coming soon, or I might be in a mental institution. But yeah, it is kind of tiring. I mean, I do a lot. I work for Uninterrupted full time, so that's 40 hours right off the bat. Sometimes more, depending on how busy we are. Luckily, right now it's kind of the off season. But then I also do The Dime, which is my NBA basketball podcast, New Pot on the Block. I do Any Given Sunday with my friend Manny Brown. And those episodes, if you listen to them, they're anywhere from 2 to 3 hours an episode. Like we just
they are
once a week. So, and then I edit other podcasts as well. I edit for and produce for Black Queens Uncut, fellow AfterBuzz host Monique Lovelace, TK Trinidad, Kiki. And I do TK's Women's Wrestling Talk. I edit her show. I edit her Peaks and Valleys show. I just do a lot of different. I can't even think of them all. So I am a little burned out. I'm not gonna lie. I need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, man. That's a question I have with something you're so good at, right? Because especially with New Pod on the Block, you don't know what you're expecting, but you have the intro tease and the ramp up to the theme song. I am being transported to a world of I don't know if you guys know this.
It's an experience.
It's an experience. So growing up in Brooklyn, there was the two ice cream trucks, right? There was the good humor guy that would come at 4:00, and his thing was bling 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 bling. Right. But it was the dirty old Jolly Roger that was a lime green truck that blasted KDU music. And boy band music, that took me back to there because it was straight up the perfect. So walk me through that, man. How do you give each show you work on a different flavor, different vibe, a different experience?
It's just the different layers of my personality. And shout out to your ice creams in your neighborhoods, because that's not what I had. I had Mr. Softy go into like a hip hop Mr. Softy beat. But that's what we had in the Bronx. But
Mr. Softy's everywhere, man.
Yeah, he is everywhere. Not gonna front. But it's weird. I just feel like I'm a very layered person. I can talk politics all day. Don't get me started on social justice and everything. I can talk that. I know what I'm talking about. I read studies. I will debate anyone into the ground. I will do that.
The ground, damn.
Yes, to the ground and below it. So
all lives matter, Josh.
What'd you say? Say it again. Say it again.
I hear you, dude.
So there's that. Obviously, I love basketball, so there's that facet of my personality with the Dime. And then I'm a producer. I make music. That's what I do. Not only do I grew up loving boy bands, but it's something that I've always done. So and I continue to do it. I still make music. I make pop music. So it's just there's different facets of my personality that I get to just kind of show off. You're a comedian, you love wrestling, you're good at multiple different things. You have multiple different shows. It's the same thing with you.
It's different, but people you have a following. Haywood Wong asked a question. He goes, Josh, Clippers versus Nets for the chip? Yes.
I'm gonna say Jazz versus Nets. I think the Clippers. The thing with the Clippers that kind of bothers me is that they're so incredibly inconsistent. You don't know what team you're getting. One day it's oh wow, that team can win a championship, and then the next day it's oh wow, they can't beat this league. They can't beat this team in my Burbank league. So it's I don't trust the Clippers enough to beat a team like the Jazz or the Suns. The Jazz are very underrated in my opinion, and I think that series goes 7 and the Jazz take it. I just if you think of the Clippers just won 7 with the Dallas Mavericks, who is literally just Luka Doncic and friends. There's no reason why that should have won 7 games. So
I'm surprised you didn't put Phoenix in that spot. That's just what I'm seeing.
I like Phoenix. I just think people are sleeping on Utah. Utah's very well rounded. They shoot the 3 ball very well. They go 9 to 10 deep, easy, without having to stretch their rotation. They're very good defensively. They're sound defensively. I just think that, they're probably the most well-rounded team that's left. And I think just they fly under the radar because no one's been to Salt Lake City and no one ever wants to go to Salt Lake City and visit it and cares about the Jazz. First of all, and why are they the Jazz? Have you ever heard Jazz in Utah? Can you imagine go to a Jazz club in Utah?
I haven't seen a jazz club in Utah where the alcohol is available on certain days. And
Dizzy Gillespie never set foot in Utah, bro. Dizzy Gillespie was never in Utah. There's no reason. Change a damn name. Yeah, once you move from New Orleans to Utah, there's no reason to be called the Jazz.
What will you call it then?
That's like being the New York City country twang. Like, no.
Okay, so if you could rebrand the Jazz, what would you call them? When you think of Utah, besides caffeine-free soda, what would you think of in that state?
The Mormons.
Okay, all right. Let's go Mormons. No, I'm not. And we're already canceled. Thanks so much for coming out this season.
The Mormons. I think of like desert. So like the Utah cactuses. I don't know. That's whack.
See, Utah birds don't slap the same way. You tell them. You tell them. The Alps.
The Alps is cool. The
Yeah.
cacti, because cacti sounds fun to say.
The cacti. That just sounds disgusting.
Utah.
All the puns, prickled by the cacti.
I'm gonna have my graphic design. Exactly. Right?
No.
And the Suns were stunned. We're stung by the cacti.
I hate it all. Let's talk about the dime, man. This is like, I won't call it the bread and butter because I know you think of everything equally. But when I think of Josh Rodriguez, I see that picture of you on the street, on the court, spread out leg, the microphone in your hand with the little shoes, the basketball. Like, it's a whole vibe now. And the dime has grown over 100 episodes. Did you think you would get this far, my dude? And he's frozen. Oh. That was a good question, too. I was like the best question I had all week. Well, I think he'll come back in just a sec. Oh, he's gone. Well, I was just asking Josh Rodriguez about the dime, about the evolution of the dime. And, of course, technical issues are part of the show. That's live entertainment for you. And, Josh, are you back, baby?
I think I'm back. Am I back?
I think you back. You went to the Matrix for a second. I had the dopest
sorry.
question. I stuck the landing. I was like, yo, this question's going to give me another award. But yet.
I was like, F your question. I'm out, son.
I'm out.
Peace.
On the podcast.
Peace.
I'm out. No, talk about it. Dime, man. Dime NBA. What up?
Yeah, I mean, when I was at AfterBuzz Sports, I love AfterBuzz, man. It changed the trajectory of my hosting career for sure. But at the time, there was no sports content, and this is before you came to AfterBuzz. But like, I started AfterBuzz Sports and I ran AfterBuzz Sports. But at the same time, I didn't really feel like I had a voice in the sports community.
Well, hold on, cut you off. Does it piss you off that it was called Wrestling in Sports by the end of it because you made the sports channel?
1000%. Let's not get into that.
Continue.
That is a conversation you and I need to have offline.
I'm sorry. I just showed up, man.
That's a very sensitive side. There's a couch behind me that I've laid down like this and like had therapy sessions with myself about that.
Oh my goodness me.
Anyway.
Breaking news, y'all.
But if I'm going to be real, like AfterBuzz is fun and cool for what it is, but it's not respected in the sports community. Like, I can't be like, and the Jazz beat the Lakers 107-100, and there's like a fucking B in the bottom of like, with like these buzz. It is what it is. I love AfterBuzz. Right. Thanks, Maria Menounos. But like, I needed to have my own platform where like I was taken seriously, and the only thing I could think of was like, I need to pump content myself. I just need to, in some way, somehow, just pump content myself and brand me how I want to be branded, and that's how the dime was formulated. And 3 years later, I'm 109 episodes in, about to be 110, and yeah, just kept at it, man. That's why I did it, because I wanted to be in sports media, and I felt like I needed to be taken more seriously than what AfterBuzz could provide for me.
So let me ask you this, man. You have it's a single subject. It's about the NBA specifically. You're not like doing anything crazy, like you're talking about so much stuff. But right. over 100 episodes. A lot of people want to start a podcast, do like 6 and quit. So like, what's been your formula to keep going, keep pushing, even through off seasons, even through down weeks, all that stuff?
I'm psychotic.
Okay. Just have a mental illness, y'all.
You've got to be crazy to do this every week.
It's true. It's true.
You've got to be out of your mind. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I think that, I think you have this too. It's just a drive to succeed. Like, this is what I want to be doing for a living. I want to be, a personality or a host and having fun. Like, this is fun for me. Like, what we're doing right now is freaking awesome. And this is what I want to be doing. And if I can do that talking basketball, that's fantastic. But I also know that like you have to put work into it. Like, you can't just show up and be like, I'm Josh Rodriguez, and have people like, we're going to give you a show. Like, no, like you have to show people like, hey, I can produce content. I'm a good host. And like, I can do this. Like, it's a resume. So to me, it was like building my resume. And that's the way I look at a lot of my shows, where it's like, it may not pop off, but it could lead to other things. And I was right. Like, the dime led me to my job at Uninterrupted.
Yeah. And your brand itself is your self-respect. You sound, I won't say you sound legit, because you are legit, but like I was into a recent episode, the one you did this week about the fandom and how we get crazy about things. And I was like, he's probably talking about wrestling fans, you react the same way. But I'm like, the cadence was like on par with like FS1 or ESPN.
Oh, thank you.
comes with reps and all that. But like, what's been your experience of being able to like improve yourself as a host on your own platform as it's grown?
Yeah, just doing it. I mean, you get more reps in. Like, if you want to get better jump shot, you go to the courts and you shoot the damn ball. So I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm 110 episodes in. I was a host at AfterBuzz. I've hosted different things, and I just think you learn yourself and you know your personality and you know what you're good at. You know what you're not good at. Also, editing is dope. So if I'm like, what about the Utah the Jazz?
Utah Mormons.
Yeah, I can edit that out if I wanted to. So I mean, there's a beauty in that. Also, like, I think the reason why my podcast has been successful and has got picked up is the fact that I have an audio engineering background, so I can edit, I can make my audio sound good, and I use my own music to boost my podcast. I have intros for everything. I have ADD, so I constantly have like music and like cues and drops because like in order for it to be interesting to me, I need that.
So, absolutely. Yeah. I like the fact you have a little spice to everything. Anissa Barr says, "I'm here. I miss you, Josh."
Anissa, what's up? I miss you
too, Flobo. Okay, Anissa. I miss you, Josh. Your friend over there.
Anissa's dope. She's sweet. I miss AfterBuzz. I miss AfterBuzz. I miss the people at AfterBuzz. It was good times.
Yeah, okay. So you have the dime going on. You also have Any Given Sunday. Now I went back to the archive. This is a little different. It wasn't like you started from scratch. You're kind of superstar signing. Episode 57 on. You were part of the show. How were you as a talent working on that one? Coming into a franchise, giving you a little flavor, and then making more of a hybrid show between sports and politics.
Yeah, it was interesting because my friend Manny Brown, we met on Twitter. His Twitter friend, never met him in real life. He had me on a show. And a lot of the guests that I get on the dime are through NBA Twitter. So he invited me on his show, and his show was about politics, sports, and current events. And during the episode that I was a guest on, we noticed that we really lean politically like in the same direction. Like we both consider ourselves progressives, and we just kind of clicked. Like it's very rare that like you can have pretty much the same political perspective with someone. I think for the most part, like you can agree on things with someone, but to actually be like, oh, can you check? Like, do you know about this bill? And be able to break down the bill and know the nuance and know the history and know what it does and know this certain study. And Manny and I we're political junkies, and you don't find that too often in the sports community. So he had me on a show. It went well. Had me on a show again, and his wife said something to him like, "I think like you guys should have a show because you guys have like good chemistry, and Josh knows what he's talking about, and like it's just interesting." And that's where it just kind of came. And he just asked me one day, he's like, "Listen, do you want to be my co-host? Because I feel like we have something good here." And I was like, "Yeah, I can rant about conservatives for 3 hours if you want me to. Let's do it."
So is a thing where if someone gave you an opportunity on sports or politics, would like to keep it separate or blended together? You pick one or the other. Like, which one do you lean towards?
I mean, I would rather talk sports, but I think politics isn't everything. And I think it's very important that we don't it's important that we realize that these basketball players are people. Like, they have their own lives, and their lives are affected by things that go on in this country as well. And if they want to talk about it, and if sports and politics so happen to intersect, let's talk about it. Let's not shy away from that conversation. So I definitely think that something I would end up doing, but I would rather talk sports if I can, but I'm not afraid to talk politics at all.
So I don't want to trick you at all, but what's the whole deal about what is the deal? I'm a hack, y'all. What is the deal with people saying, shut up and dribble or shut up and hit the ball, right? Like it seems like they're people, and you can have opinions about athletes are people. I mean, you can have opinions on what's going on, but it almost seems like this undercurrent of how dare you have your opinion, but you're an athlete and you have a platform, be a good role model, but don't have an opinion. Like, what's an athlete to do as far as believing in something, being themselves, and making sure they're not like disparaging a team or what have you?
An athlete's supposed to speak their mind. They're a human being. They're a United States citizen. And whether or not you agree with their point of view doesn't matter, because they're a citizen. They should be able to speak their voice. And I say that including for athletes who I disagree with. You can say whatever you want. The whole idea of shut up and dribble is just a way of trying to censor and silence an athlete because they don't agree with their opinion. And a lot of, like I said, that the whole thing came from Laura Ingraham, who was like a Fox News correspondent or host. And, she got mad at LeBron, and that became like a more than an athlete thing for Uninterrupted. A lot of that is just pundits telling athletes that like you're stick to this because you don't know about it. It's a whole arrogance thing. But it's only because they disagree. Because if they had an athlete who's all MAGA and agrees with everything they said, that they platform that athlete and they prop them up. So it's just a way to try to get someone to shut up. That's all it is.
how do you get your news? Like, what's your mix? Like papers,
So
Twitter.
I only follow NPR on Twitter. I don't trust and I also know like what leans what. So if I read an article from MSNBC, although I lean left, I also realize that it's coming from a leftist slant, and I have to be careful with what I obtain. I'm a big YouTube guy. I watch David Pakman, who is kind of centrist, left center. Sam Cedar, who's more left. I get like my news from them, and I listen to your opinions, and I come up with my own things as well. I'm a big studies guy. Google Scholar is a big thing. So if I wanted to research something like institutional racism, Google Scholar, institutional racism and effects on Black community, and there will be studies upon studies that come up. For anyone who wants to do research, all it really takes is just to do that. And like kind of, if you don't want to go through the whole study, just read the abstract. It will sum things up for you. And I think a lot of people don't do that. Like, it's just something I've always gravitated towards that. And that's pretty much how I get my opinions or form my opinions. I want to make sure that it's based in reality.
So true to my Caribbean nature, like I had 30 jobs in my lifetime, and one of them was a research assistant. Basically, I wrote term papers for people. Like you get those term paper farms. I'm usually one of those guys. Google Scholar, clutch, saved my ass so many times. But hey, what else? I'll ask. What about Matt Drudge? I guess thoughts about the guy?
Oh, Drudge Report. Drudge is cool. I have nothing against it. Just not some. It's just not a source of information I go to. I just never gravitated towards it, but nothing. I have nothing positive or negative to say about it because I never really was able to evaluate it myself.
True. So any given Sunday is weekly, and that's 2 hours. A dime's about 35 or so, and all the other podcasts are 40 hours a week. And so, like, I'm not trying to put you. Don't tell me all your business, but how does that lay out week to week? Is it all days you work and night times you chill? Is it kind of night times you work, days you chill? When you put the workout in? When you go to the store? Like,
it depends. So for Uninterrupted, I work 40 hours a week, and that's typically 10 a.m. Pacific time to 5 p.m. I'm supposed to be on the clock and at my workstation. But there are times where I record after that, or mostly after, never really before. But there are times like I'll be talking to an athlete at 12 o'clock midnight because that's the only time they can record. 12 o'clock midnight Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. So it really just depends. Like right now, it hasn't been that way because there's some off seasons with our podcast. But it really just depends. I mean, there were weeks where I worked more than 40 hours a week, and I worked 50 hours a week, and I worked from like literally like 10 to 10 or 10 to 12. Like, it just depends.
What the hell do you do for fun then, bro? Like, how do you decompress? Do you decompress at all? Or are you just kind of like, life sucks. Oh God. How do you recharge?
I try my best, man. I used to play basketball every day. I want to get back into it. I just can't, I don't. Like, I am so lazy now when it comes to it. Like, I'm just not, and I'm not good anymore. I was always trash. So I get on the court and like I suck, and I'm like, I don't ever want to do this ever again. Like, what the hell am I doing? That ends up happening. But I make music. That's a way I decompress. Netflix.
Okay. So your music career, I know you were talking to us about a year ago. You're trying to do more of the pop thing. Is it still pop? Are you trying the genres? Are you doing the trap music? Like what's the genres looking at?
Yeah, it's more electronic pop, synth pop. I do a little bit of hip hop. My boy Quap's a rapper, so I make songs for him and trying to turn him into a producer. He's like my secret side project right now. But mostly it's pop with a little bit of like R&B too. So I can do anything that's like top 40 that sounds like it should be on the radio and that like you should hate, like those Katy Perry songs that like you're like, why do I like this song? That's the type of stuff I make.
That's Swedish structure. JLJ meeting goes, I love you both.
Hey James, what's up, baby?
It says Josh is my me hermano. Got their own family room to the mix. So So JLJ Media, mutual friend of mine, of yours as well, does a whole bunch of lot stuff. You do a whole bunch of lot stuff, and I do a whole bunch of lot stuff. Why haven't we collaborated on a thing? Like, what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on?
I think we're just waiting on you to send the proposal right now. I think you just did that. Let's do the damn thing.
I don't have ideas. I'm just the guy who says, why doesn't this change?
Well, that's the executive producer role. You just took the executive producer role. You got that. I'll be the producer. James Lott Jr. can write the songs. We got this. Look at this. It's a team already.
I go to town hall meetings. We just fix this and have no solution.
Yeah, you're the freaking Elon Musk of this fucking project.
Why is it this way? Yeah, but I think we have like 50 shows between both of us. Quite literally. We're not even.
It's ridiculous.
Not even going to be. Yeah.
James himself has 37.
Yeah, 34, 37 shows.
Yeah.
It's nuts. What do you still have the dream? And what is it, my man?
With music, I don't know anymore, man. That's
just
the funny
the
thing.
Dream. If you had the success in the mind's eye, anything like
I don't know,
supermodels, like Bentleys, rap videos, helicopters. What?
Bro, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know if I have that anymore. Like when I was in my 20s, I had a group of friends that we made music together. And my dream was that we can get like a pub deal to the point where we can support ourselves, all live together and like experience life together. And then what happened was I got kicked in the face and my friends ended up having kids and going their separate. Life happened.
Right.
So like musically, I don't know. It's weird because I feel like that typical artist who's like, I make music for myself and I don't do it for the money or the fame. And like, but like, I've actually kind of turned into that. Like, not that I've ever wanted to be famous. Like that was never really the goal, but I did want to make a living out of it. And I did like kind of shape my music to kind of fit a certain narrative or a certain like sound so that like it could get on the radio. Like now I don't care. Like now I'm at a point where I'm making music for me and my friends. And if it pops, it pops. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think that just comes with age and maturity. And as far as like podcasting and being a host, I don't know, man. Like it's so crazy because what the frustrating thing, and I know you go through this, and it's like you can be a dope host, and then you turn on a TV, and it's like, why is Ludacris hosting something? Like,
damn, Luda, damn. Like, yeah, I got you.
There's no reason for you. Like it's almost like you have to be famous before you can become a professional host, and that's kind of infuriating and frustrating. So for me, it's like if the hosting thing happens, it happens. I think my more direct path is to be a producer or like an on-air personality for sports talk radio or something like that. I think that's a more obtainable, achievable goal. But I would love to host like a game show where like people are winning thousands of dollars. That would be the dream where I'm just stepping on stage and just throwing money at people.
Well, damn, yo, you stole money at me, bro. Like,
yeah, do it, man.
Sally Mae's coming back from her hibernation. but you make a good point there. I mean, like, I'm with you. You know, sometimes I won't say what's the point, but we do these shows. We treat it like a job in our own way. We make sure you get the content out there. And you're kind of wondering, am I building the following I need to get booked elsewhere? And I know you got fans because I see it on Twitter thing. But like, do you worry about that? Do you worry about following or people watching your stuff? Or it's kind of like, no, focus on the content. Like, what's been the balance for you? I think I lost him again. That's a good picture right there. That right there is going to be the best thing ever. Josh Rodriguez is frozen. Well, the reason why I asked him the question, hopefully we get him back for that one. The reason why I asked him the question is that a lot of times we create content, we say, no, we're going to focus on making the best show possible, the best show ever. But at the same time, we have to keep the audience in mind, right? Like you want to make sure you have the audience in mind. If there's an audience, if there's a following, that sort of thing.
They don't want us to win, bro. They want us to win.
Dude, you know what's funny? Your last picture is still here. See? that's you. That's the face you made before you dropped. That's great. All right. So anyway, my question was about fame, following. You know, do you create stuff knowing there's a following, people watching your stuff, or do you do more of like, I'm just going to focus on what I think?
I just do what I'm going to think. I mean, if
this is live entertainment. Like that was perfect. The setup and there was no execution. Are you back? I think you're back. Josh, are you back? I think I lost him one more time. All right, we're gonna keep on going until he gets. Dude, this is gonna be like one of those things. Hey, what up? So you did it again.
Okay, I just changed my Wi-Fi. That might have been it.
Sweet.
So like I was saying, I hate the fact that I have to post on social media. I hate the fact that I need an Instagram presence. I hate it. 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 But it's also necessary. Like I have people who follow me from Straight Talk with Ross Matthews who like want to see what I'm up to. Like they legitimately are. They like me as a human. And it's a crazy concept to me because it's like I was just the engineer,
right?
But like it's true. Like it's part of the game, and you can't like. If it's part of the game, you got to play the game. And so I've been trying to do a better job with it, although I don't do a good enough job with it. I know I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. Like I'll give you an example. Like when it really hit me, I hosted a pilot for Red Bull Music. It was a reality show. It was like I got paid for it. Like I felt like I was like on top of the world. I was like, oh, I'm doing this. They ended up replacing me with a producer.
Oh no! Don't talk like that.
Who had and they weren't really shy about. That's the reason why. It was just basically like we needed to use him to like do press releases and promote the show. Like you only have 2,000 followers on Instagram. Like what are we going to do with that? Like we liked you as a host, but like new executives came in, they oversaw the project. They saw me as a host. They saw the lack of following that I had, and I got replaced as a host.
Oh man, that's well, on the comedy side, you don't even get booked because they're following. They'll look at your Instagram followers first before they book you. But TK Trindaz in the chat saying,
TK,
oh, hey Josh,
TK, check your email. TK just sent you a link. TK,
yeah, did the shade. Now it's someone with a bunch of shows, right? Woo!
Oh, TK, yeah, we got a bunch of hard workers in this chat. This is crazy. We all came out. It's like we sent the bat signal out.
You know what it is? I do this show every Monday and no one comes through. I'm like, yo, Josh is coming. Oh, Josh is showing up. Oh, Anissa Barr, TK, JLJ. See how it is, man. I would have you every week. It's a picture of you in the corner. Josh's face will be on next week's edition. So dumb. Are you at capacity, man? Is there room for more? Can I get to the Josh Rodriguez business or what's up?
No, I need a break. I need to start cutting shows. TK, I'm not cutting your shows. Don't worry. But I need to start cutting shows.
Okay.
I really.
What will be first?
Yeah. I can't say that out loud. I can't tell. I'm not gonna.
Okay. So it's not one of yours then.
No, I can't cut my stuff. Are you serious?
I didn't know. I didn't know what we did.
I do too many. We'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but TK, you're safe. Don't worry.
TK is for now. So answer your emails, TK, or you be next.
Yeah. If you don't answer your email, TK, that might change really, really quick.
Damn, TK on blast. Yo,
that's a threat.
Do you get cocoa butter still? TK?
Check this out. Yeah, center in. This turned into a center in commercial.
Oh, my, yo, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
This is a beard shampoo that I just used.
That's Clipper Ranks.
Yep. Oh.
That's a different brand, brother. What are you doing? That's a different brand.
This is body wash that I'm gonna use.
Yeah, it's the worst commercial ever, my guy. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, this is a bottle of something.
It came in the same package, TK. I'm sorry.
Yo, TK gonna fire you, bro.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
This is the body wash I'm gonna use. Just came in the mail today. Next to my shower.
That's half your body though. What you gonna wash an elbow with that?
I'm gonna use this one time. TK, I'm sorry, TK. I failed. This is the worst commercial ever.
Where can I get it? At centerit.com. Yeah, she's gonna send me an angry text like, "How dare you disparage my brand?"
That's Clipper Ranks. That's I came with a flyer too. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? I thought I was getting TK shit.
Yo, he is a celebrity barber, man. He actually sponsors the show.
Didn't know that. That's funny as hell.
So you were actually bi-coastal, right? You're in New York right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was late as hell over there. My bad. Appreciate
coming back to LA tomorrow.
Okay. Do you have residences in both spots, or is it kind of like?
No, I'm at my dad's right now. Like any minute he might come here with his shirt off and scream at me for being too loud.
Oh, so your dad's my dad too. Yeah. That is some universal Caribbean shit, right? Yo, put a shirt on, pops. Got the same draws from '87. I got you.
Pick up your pants.
Yeah,
this fucking ass crack hanging out. Just leaves my room. Like, please, come on, man.
Dude, like, do you go back home to recharge, or just strictly business? Like, what brings you back?
Honestly, I came back here for the pandemic, man, and I just kind of had trouble finding a spot, and just kind of got like complacent and depressed and. It's just a mixture of different things, but it's time for me to come back. It's absolutely time for me to come back, and I'll be back tomorrow. At this time tomorrow, I'll be in Los Angeles.
How'd you power through like the bad mental days and all that?
Acknowledging it. My girl acknowledged it for me. She's just basically like, you're not the same, like, and coming to terms with it, where it's just kind of like, you kind of have to like look at your actions and take responsibility for the way that you've been acting and stop being in denial. And I think I was in denial because I was in a deep depression a couple years ago, and it wasn't as bad, but I started becoming numb. Like I wasn't mad, I wasn't angry, I wasn't sad, like I wasn't in bed crying, but I was numb. Like I was like I didn't care about anything, and I think I was just a little overworked. But like once I was able to acknowledge it, I was able to kind of work on it and just kind of like, okay, like motivate myself to start doing things. It was a way easier depression or lull to get out of than like my other one. But
sure,
it's granted, it was still one for sure.
Was it just because of the shifting pandemic thing? Was like a career-based thing? Yeah, I
think it was a lot. I think I was overworked. I think I love New York, but I don't want to be here. Like I want to be back in Los Angeles. I want to, like, when I'm in LA, I feel more productive. I feel like my career is like
going somewhere.
Things.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm kind of the same boat. Like, I want to go home. It's cool to get like the New York air. That's like 4 days, and I'm like, all right, let me go back. Let me back to the old, because I left home like it was a steel mill. Like I got to go to work in this factory town of entertainment and slang the sledgehammer or whatever. So when I go home, I always feel like it's temporary. But I hear you, man. There were some dark days in that pandemic, bro. So I'm glad you made it out.
I think a lot of people did, man. I'm sure. Like, how about you? Did you feel anything? What were you like?
Well, I tell people this, like there was the pre-pandemic life was hard because my career had stalled. As a comedian, I wasn't getting the bookings I wanted. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's so easy. Just do this roadmap. This comic is blowing up. This comic is blowing up." And like, I'm trying. I got 6 years in the game. They tell me it takes 10, but I'm driving around town trying to get on these shows that no one's coming to. And AfterBuzz was kind of supposed to help me out with that, but didn't. And I was just kind of like stuck. And so in 19, I was like, I'm just going to book myself. I will call up clubs, and I call up clubs in Alaska and Japan. The story goes, and then the pandemic came. So I felt it was a pre-pandemic life. The pandemic life was all the podcasts, all the shows, doing this every week, and this being fun. But now the pandemic is over. It's like emerging and trying to figure out what's there, what's left. I got into video game commentary during this time. I got into this live show at this time. And someone goes, all right, comic clubs are open, back to get an enterprise rent-a-car, go work at Target. Like what's the next move? I think that's been the craziest thing for me, for sure.
Yeah, it's like readjusting to life again. Like, because you started a life in the pandemic, right? And like, how do you transfer that life over to real life when you had a different real
absolutely
life it's before?
Well, not to make it about me, because this was a Flobo After Hours. It's not like why is Flobo sad. My man, Josh Rodriguez, you down to play a game, my friend?
Let's do it, man.
All right, so this one here is a classic. It's actually the original game on this show. This one's called True or False. I'm gonna give you some random statements, and you let me know whether it's true or false. Before I do that, Anissa Barr says, I agree. I think for everyone, we'll try to transfer it back to how things were, but slowly. I know Anissa sucks.
It's going to take some time. We'll get there, though.
Take some time. True or false? True or false? It's a shame that Tim Duncan doesn't get praised enough as he should.
True as hell. Oh, my God, that's true. This motherfucker was dirty. What? Are you serious? Top 10 player of all time, easy. 5 championships. And multiple MVP awards. Dynasty. Like, the dynasty was built around Tim Duncan. Arguably the greatest power forward of all time. The fact that no one, like when people mention the best players of our generation, it's always like, well, there was LeBron and there was Kobe. And it's like LeBron or Kobe, LeBron, Kobe, LeBron. It's like, yo, Tim Duncan is in the conversation at 1,000%. So 1,000% true.
And the fact he retired via press release, that was so weird to me. He's like, guys, I quit.
No, he's a weird dude for sure. Yeah.
There are new podcasts coming out all the time, but something is generally missing. True or false?
True. Missing in what way though? Like I feel like I might have taken that. Like for me, I just feel like a lot of people start podcasts and don't have a game plan. They just like grab a mic and they're like, these are my thoughts. These are more of my thoughts. And then these are more of my thoughts. Have a good day. Then follow. Mm-hmm. Like there's like no strategy. Like what I find missing with podcasts is the fact that like they're not really well produced. It's just kind of like people think they can get on a mic and their opinion matters more than someone else's, or they're this enlightened person. And it's like, you may be smart, you may be entertaining, but like there still needs to be work behind what you're doing. Like look at Flobo After Hours right now. Look at this fucking slate. Look at this overlay right now. Are you serious? Do you see that crescent moon in the bottom right-hand corner right now? Are you serious? Do you see the skyline?
An embarrassing long time to make.
Do you see this? Do you see this presentation? This is how you win awards, ladies and gentlemen. Take notes. Take notes.
True or false, man? You got me hot and bothered. True or false? The best ice cream flavor of all time is cookie dough chocolate chip.
Oh my God, false. Oh,
okay, God. Which one is it?
Strawberry ice cream.
What? Are you kidding me? Dude, that was my favorite as a kid. Yo, we like this, bro.
Hey, love strawberry ice cream.
Dude, I thought no one liked strawberry but my ass. Nope. All right, that's what's up.
I'm a huge fan of orange sherbet though, so I don't know if you count that as ice cream, but orange sherbet.
It's not, but it's a vibe to the party. You know, it's cool. It's like a flatbread to a pizza. Like, it's not a pizza, but it's invited, you know?
Got it.
When I go to a party, I usually post up and keep myself in the corner.
Oh, hell, false as hell. I am on the dance floor. I am dancing. I am acting a fool. I am being ridiculous. I'm singing karaoke. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Yes, I'm not going to say I'm the life of the party, but I do.
I think you are, though. I think you are. If basketball did not exist, I think I would play soccer.
False. I suck at soccer. I was baseball is actually the sport I was best at growing up. So probably baseball. I was shortstop. So it was, yeah. Oh, hey.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Hey. But yeah, I don't know if I would continue playing baseball. I really liked football. My mom was against me playing football. So if basketball didn't exist, I might have defied her wishes and played football.
Oh yeah, when I was in high school, I had to do the little consent form to do football, because even back then it was like you couldn't get your head bashed in a bad way.
You might die at 8 years old.
It's like the Department of Ed did not care, Board of Ed did not care. Yeah. Like, look, this will kill you. And mom was like, I'll sign it, but if you don't do it, you got to do student government. I'm like, haha, sucker. And my football career lasted like 3 weeks. And she totally beat me on that whole thing. She had a mind trick. Sorry, Rachel loves your pep talks, by the way.
Rachel, what up, Rachel? I love Rachel. What? Rachel's dope.
You got fans. Must be nice. True or false? I feel that I missed the boat on investing on crypto early.
Oh my God, true as hell. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you a story, Flobo. I don't know if you saw this tweet. This is a true story. This is a true story. So, you know, Ethereum blew up, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago or so, I hosted a game show app. You know how HQ Trivia was very popular?
Yeah.
I hosted a game show app called WTF Trivia. We didn't give away cash. We gave away Ethereum. And every day that I hosted, I knew the answers to all of the questions. And all I had to do was tell all my boys about the right answers so they can get a little bit of Ethereum. But in my head, I was like, this is like some small crypto that's never going to be anything. Like, this company's so cheap giving out Ethereum. Why aren't they giving out Bitcoin? That I didn't even bother gaming the system and doing inside training and risking like the next 15 years of my life for my boys. But I should have done that. So basically, if I told my friends all the answers to the trivia every time I answered, we would all be like millionaires.
That's like the crypto record now. If you NFTs and all that stuff, man,
millionaire. I would be a millionaire right now if I wanted. If I had no morals. So lesson, ladies and gentlemen, cheat at life, have no morals. Being honest gets you nowhere.
You don't become number one by playing by the rules.
Exactly.
Next to last one. I, for one, am looking forward to Space Jam 2. True or false?
True. I work for Uninterrupted. I have to say that.
You could be like, I don't know. Maybe we'll wait and see. And we could totally imply, though.
Because I work for LeBron James.
Secure the bag, y'all. And lastly, no, I never worry about being perceived as too woke.
I would say, do I worry? That's a great question. I guess I would say false, because I think I've scaled back on like my aggressiveness, in the sense where it's like, just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean you have to have like this venom towards them. And I think sometimes when people are too woke, or like they're really aggressive, like, institutional racism exists, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck what you say, blah, 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 blah. It's like you come across as kind of just, it doesn't matter if you're on the right side of whatever you're talking about. Like, coming across too woke is actually counterproductive to those who are on the middle or on the opposite side of you. So I think I do worry a little bit, but only in the sense where it's like, I'm trying to change hearts, I'm trying to change minds, and I don't think it's the most effective way to do so.
Damn, just dropping knowledge, man.
Thank you.
Before I get out of here, I got 2 cliche questions for you, and I know these are questions that are beneath me as a podcast.
Oh, stop it.
Man. I need to know, man.
Stop it.
2 questions. Number 1, favorite movie of all time and why?
Okay. I'm going to Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Because it was on AMC every single every single day.
Exactly.
And Dude Frame's a badass. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go with that. It's a classic. I could watch it anytime. You know what? I'm gonna change it. Forrest Gump.
What? Same year? Like, what? 94 is lit, bro.
Yo, 7-year-old Josh was like lit.
Okay. That's a mask. Definitely for okay. JLJ says Josh is a great LGBTQIA cat. Like, respect, man. Pride Month. What's up? And lastly,
yes, sir.
Favorite pizza toppings?
Pepperoni. Just give me pepperoni. That's it. I'm a simple
guy.
I'm a simple guy. Pepperoni.
So let me ask you this as a New Yorker, though. It takes me off. It could be just a Flobo thing. But, like, I hate when someone's like, what topping you want? And you say cheese. You're like, that's a plain.
Cheese is not a topping. Cheese is like a given.
That's what I'm saying. Strawberry ice cream for everybody. This is what I'm talking about.
That makes no goddamn sense.
That's what I'm saying.
What? People say that?
Yo, I see you, man. I see you, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Oh my God. I'm trying to come up with an analogy for that, but I don't even think there's an analogous thing. Like how what is
just a cheese pizza? Yeah, it's plain. It's plain. See, look, Anissa says, I love cheese pizza. It's a plain.
It's just pizza. It's just pizza. You don't have to say cheese pizza. Just say pizza.
My guy, dude, be on the show every week, bro. Well, you're maxed out with podcasts, but you can be around.
This is a great time. Having a great time.
You can clone yourself. Come through, man. Dude, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate you, man. Look, this is where everyone can follow you if they're not following already. Where can they hit you up, hit the DMs, seek you out online?
I'll make it easy for you. Instead of giving you all the handles for my podcast, just follow me directly at Josh_Rodriguez_. I have all my podcasts in my bios and things like that. So you can follow whichever ones you want. And that's on all social media platforms.
This guy is killing it. If you guys are not following Josh right now, shame on you.
What are you doing with your life? What you doing
with your life, man? This is Wassup Flobo After Hours every Monday night at 10 p.m. Pacific and live in front of, I guess, millions of people now, theoretically. We're back here next week with some friends. Of course, it is Pride Month. Recognize wherever you are, wherever you reside, you are loved and you are respected. This month is not only for you, it's for everyone. But until next time, After Hours are closed, baby.
The bed is still the land.